I never imagined snipping a single wire could land me staring down a 6-year prison sentence. Yeah, you heard that right, one little cut. And a woman named Cynthia Reynolds, the queen bee of our neighborhood, nearly torched my entire life. For 3 years, she'd been siphoning my electricity, racking up a cool $18,000 tab. But as I watched her empire crumble, I learned something profound. Patience and a bit of know-how can outsmart even the craftiest Karen. It all kicked off last summer during a brutal Florida heatwave. I was combing through my rental property accounts when I spotted something wild. My electricity bill for a house in Crestwood, a ritzy neighborhood, had spiked 300 fan tram in just a few months. At first, I figured it was a glitch or maybe my tenant, Sheriff Michael Carter, had gone overboard with a new AC unit. I manage 6 properties, so weird stuff pops up now and then. But when I called Michael, he was as baffled as I was. "Nothing's changed, Tom," he said. That's when my old engineering instincts, honed during a college internship at a power company, started tingling. I hired electricians, but they found nothing. So I took matters into my own hands, staking out the meter like a detective. I noticed the power surged every Thursday night, right when Cynthia, the HOA president, threw her fancy shindigs for local bigwigs. Cynthia lived in a mansion right behind my rental, ruling Crestwood like a dictator for 8 years. She'd nitpick everything: your lawn, your mailbox, you name it, enforcing her bloated HOA rulebook with glee. I never pegged her for a thief, though. I brought in a grid security expert, and what he found blew my mind. A slick smart breaker was rerouting my power to Cynthia's pool, lights, and get the issue basement. This wasn't some amateur hack. It was a high-tech heist designed to dodge detection. The specialist whistled. "This is pro-level work. Someone with serious skills set this up to fluctuate and avoid suspicion." When I crunched the numbers, her 3-year joyride cost me $18,000 grand theft under Florida law. Armed with photos, VY Deos, and notes, I marched to Cynthia's door, expecting her to fess up or settle. Boy, was I wrong. Her eyes narrowed as she snapped. "That's part of the neighborhood grid, Tom. You're mistaken." When I showed her the EVY Denke, her tone turned icy. "We go way back, don't we? Remember that little mix-up with the Larson case when you interned for me in 19? I fixed it. Be a shame if the Bar Association heard about it." My stomach dropped. That mix-up was a tiny paperwork error she'd helped me correct, nothing illegal, but embarrassing enough to dent a young lawyer's rep. This wasn't just about electricity anymore. It was a power play. I wasn't backing down. That night, I disabled the breaker and left a legal notice citing Florida's theft laws, demanding restitution. 45 minutes later, a police cruiser rolled up to my house. 2 officers, one with his hand near his gun, said, "Mr. Hayes, you're coming to the station." My heart sank. At the precinct, it was clear Cynthia had spun a wild tale. I'd supposedly cut her main power line, endangering her life with some fictional medical device. The cops ate it up, barely glancing at my VY Deos of the breaker. "Ms. Reynolds is a pillar of this community," one sneered. "You've had it out for her since she cited your property violations." I was stunned. Cynthia had flipped the script, using her buddy, the police chief inspector, to fast-track her complaint. I demanded the allegations in writing, gave the bare facts, and walked out, but the damage was done. The next day, an HOA notice slapped me with due 500 daily fines for destroying community property. Tenants called, spooked by rumors of my crimes. Worst of all, an email from the police hinted at vandalism charges that could lock me up for 6 years and kill my legal career. I was drowning. Neighbors shunned me, and I started triple-checking my locks at night. I even considered CAVY and paying her off, eating the fines, anything to make it stop. Then my phone buzzed with a lifeline. "I know what she's done. Meet me at Bayside Coffee, 7 p.m. Rachel Ortiz, HOA secretary." Hope flickered, but I was paranoid. Was this a trap? That night, Cynthia upped the ante with an email, a photo of me and Rachel at the coffee shop before the meeting even happened. "Don't trust traitors," she wrote. "I've got enough to bury your career. Remember Larson?" My blood ran cold. Was she hacking me? I met Rachel anyway, in a dim corner booth. She was jumpy, whispering, "She's watching me too." Rachel slid me a USB drive with financial records showing Cynthia's scam. She'd been selling fake green energy credits to eco-conscious residents, pocketing thousands. "They got certificates for solar power that doesn't exist," she said bitterly. Rachel faced losing her job for questioning Cynthia's books. Then, Sarah Mitchell, the HOA accountant, joined us, revealing $250,000 in ghost expensesno receipts, no contractors. Things got wilder when Henry Walsh, a retired electrician, confirmed Cynthia had extra breakers stealing power from 5 homes to fuel a crypto mining setup in her basement. Cynthia struck back, calling an emergency HOA meeting to crucify me publicly. The room was packed, her tailored suit screaming authority as she flashed doctored photos of me vandalizing HOA property. She even proposed a vote to force me to sell my properties and leave Crestwood. When I tried to speak, the mic failed. Smirking, Cynthia said, "Submit your concerns in writing." I was sinking until Henry stood up. "I wired half this neighborhood," he boomed. "Tom's right about the breakers. I refused to install them for Cynthia 3 years ago. They're illegal." Her face turned beet red as she scrambled to end the meeting. A few neighbors shot me curious looks. The tide was shifting. Then things got crazy. My security cameras caught Cynthia and Officer to VYD Price breaking into my house at 2 a.m., planting something. Sheriff Carter warned me Price had a VY Olin streak and was in deep with Cynthia. The next day, a search warrant hit my home for drugs. Sure enough, Price found cocaine under my desk, smirking, "Well, what's this?" I stayed calm, handing over my footage and demanding fingerprint tests. His body cam caught him muttering, "This is where we put it," and the other cops' faces fell. The lead detective pulled me aside, hinting the case was shaky. But Cynthia wasn't done. I got hit with drug charges and a bar association complaint. That night, Carter confessed over whiskey. "She's got dirt on me, Tom. I faked a report to save my brother from a DUI. She could ruin me. I saw a way out. What if we prove she's blackmailing everyone?" I showed him Rachel and Sarah's files, plus my bombshell. Cynthia's house was 3 months from foreclosure. Her scams, electricity, fake credits, jacked up HOA fees were her desperate bid to stay afloat. We rallied allies, residents burned by Cynthia's fines and shady contracts. Henry found more breakers, tying her to the crypto scheme. But Cynthia had one last card. As I checked her electrical panel, Price stepped from the shadows, gun trembling. "She said you destroy EVY Denke," he yelled. My phone was live streaming to Carter. "This is recorded to VYD," I said, hands up. He screamed, "She'll clear my debts." Then bam, a bullet tore through my shoulder. I hit the ground as Carter charged in, gun drawn. I woke in the hospital, bandaged but alive. Price was in custody, spilling everything. Cynthia had pushed him to scare me, leveraging his gambling debts. The shooting lit a fire under the community. Neighbors shared their own Cynthia horror stories. From my bed, I sent Rachel and Sarah's EVY Denke to the HOA board, filed lawsuits for assault, fraud, and theft, and dug deeper. I sold a property and bought Cynthia's mortgage from her bank, who were thrilled to dump it. She didn't know I now own her house. At the next HOA meeting, with media and bar reps watching, Cynthia strutted in, all confidence. She painted me as a rogue landlord, even claiming I'd framed Price. I took the mic, arm in a sling, and threw her off. "I'm not here to fight," I said. "I've patented a new energy sharing system to cut our bills by 25 fan tram." The crowd leaned in. I showed how Cynthia's breakers blocked grid upgrades, with Henry backing me up. Then I dropped the green energy scam bomb. A woman shouted, "I paid Dula $3,000 for fake solar credits." Murmurs spread. I kept going. Cynthia's house was refinanced to fund her lifestyle, not community projects. She jumped up, yelling, "My finances aren't your business." I let her rant, then landed the kill shot. Her home's no longer in foreclosure because I bought her mortgage yesterday. The room exploded. She'll pay rent to me, plus restitution for everyone she scammed. I played the footage of her planting drugs, showed the financial records, and called Carter to the mic shaking. He confessed, She blackmailed me over a falsified report. I was a coward, but I'm done. Henry waved a black book from Cynthia's safe, listing her blackmail targets. As she lunged, Carter cuffed her, reading her rights. Crestwood changed overnight. I became HOA president, slashing fees 30 fan tram, and adding transparency rules. Cynthia pleaded guilty to fraud, extortion, and conspiracy, getting 4 years. She paid Dula $300,000 in restitution, losing her home, which I turned into a community center with a small apartment for her post-prison. Price got a suspended sentence and treatment. Carter got community ser VYC, later speaking on police ethics. The Black Book was destroyed privately, freeing VY Timms without public shame. My career soared with speaking gigs and interest in my energy model. Carter and I became friends, bonded by our fight. One small compromise, he said, and she owned me. His words shaped my work reforming HOAs. A hidden land deed later hinted Cynthia had one last trap, but its flaws screamed forgery. At her sentencing, she sneered, "Everyone uses everyone." I was just better. Her delusion fueled our push for a real community. My VY Deo series on homeowner rights took off, sparking a support network far beyond Crestwood. So what do you think? Was I right to buy Cynthia's mortgage, or was that too ruthless? Should we have exposed the Black Book's secrets to ensure justice, or was destroying it the moral call? Could Carter have fought back sooner, or was he trapped? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's keep this conversation going.